Welcome, everyone. It's Sunday. It's 8 o'clock. That must mean it's time for some Pommy kickback. And as always, I can't do this on my own. I've been busy this week. I've been live a lot. You've got a lot of me. You're a little bit like my wife and kids at the minute. You've had too much of me and you're probably sick of me. So I've brought a different flavour. We've got the newest girl in town, the hottest property, we'll call her. I keep saying we need an Essendon fan channel. Keep saying it. I've said it for like 4 years. And we've got one. We've got Bomber Banter. We've got the wonderful Fiona. Welcome.
Hello, Pommy. I keep saying that you've set the bar so high. That's just kept me back. It's kept me out of the game.
It is, or I've lowered the bar just enough for you to feel like you can come in. It's one of them.
No, it's definitely just setting the bar so high that the ladder looked out of reach. But no, I'm here now and, just have been a big admirer of yours and, Terry's in this space. And as soon as I started this, I had countless messages, people saying, have you checked out PommyInOz? And I said, hell yeah, been there for years. So
now you're here.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hold who I barrack for against me. None of your fans, Pommy, or Carlton fans will ever think less of my team than I do. So you will not upset me by telling me how shit my team is, because I know that.
Well, I keep saying we have the best chat in the world as they all filter through. We've got some wonderful ones. Seabear Squad, Kate, Matty, he's a regular chills. We're always respectful of our opposition. And we're used to Collingwood. We don't really have many. Essendon, though, this is a rarity for us. This is. We're excited about this.
Okay, well, just be kind, that's all. But no, you won't get me with how shit my team is. It's okay. I know. I'm selfish.
He's a big bomber. We've got them all. See, the chat like you already. Like you say, Richard's a good character.
Okay, hi, Richard. Thank you.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's hard for me this week because my team has resorted back to tight, but before we get stuck in, Essendon, you tried to lose, but you got the job done.
It's just another week of Essendon fans sending the therapy bill to Essendon FC headquarters. We did everything to try and lose that game. It wasn't as bad as the West Coast game, I have to admit, because it was carnage on the injury front. And essentially, as soon as Jordan Ridley went down, who's our kind of sweeper and our cleaner back there and the leader basically back there in a very young back line. Our setup fell apart really quickly after that. And it was evident their heads dropped a little bit. And then obviously the Kangaroos smelled a bit of blood and they upped their pressure and we did not respond well. So, yeah, it was. I'm really proud of the resilience and the fact that they could hang in there, given that we were a rotation down, two rotations down. Todd Goldstein was limping. He was holding his shoulder. And Cherry was taking full advantage of it. So proud of the resilience, but will we ever be able to put the team away? I don't know.
It wasn't an easy one to watch. I've got to say, it was one of them games. I was in your stream and I was genuinely shocked that we were just talking about this off camera. Essendon fans have zero expectation. Like, I was in there going, North are potentially the worst football side I've ever seen. This should be a cruise control game. And like, Essendon fans were like, don't do it to me, Pommy. This is a game that we can lose. And I'm like, what is going on? It's amazing how much your club has ruined you all.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying offline, it's the boy who cried wolf. We have been promised the world of changes, that the pinnacle is out there and just at our fingertips, and we've just been let down time and time again. And we are realists now. We protect our heart and our brains and our mental health because this club has tried to send us to the kooky bins more than once. So, yeah, you guys, we don't quite eat each other alive quite like you guys in the chat, I have to admit. But maybe when we start winning some games.
Yeah, A PommyInOz live watch-along chat in a Carlton game is, I mean, it's somewhere beneath Beirut and Frankston Station on a Friday, 3 a.m.
Fear for your life, you're saying?
It's a dark place, I've got to say. It's a dark. I did like, though, that you enjoyed it. Like, I get that feedback. We've got a lot of fans from different clubs, and that's the feedback that they genuinely enjoy, seeing Carlton fans attack other Carlton fans.
I don't know if it's you guys go quite hard. I was saying this on one of my lives. You guys go quite hard on the trolling, in terms of on social media as a whole, and so I think Essendon fans in general just like to see Carlton fans in general upset. I don't really roll that way. I can because I know that we're so shit, and I have no right to enjoy the misery of others in the football space. But yeah, I think the meltdowns are enjoyed by opposition fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite calm during the game, gotta say.
Are you really?
Yeah. You know what's weird is a lot of people watch, like, now the other lives where we're just watching normal games, and I am totally placid and calm. Like, watching, like, if I watch like today, Hawthorn Richmond, so calm. Collingwood Geelong, so calm. For some reason, if I like something, I become someone that maybe I was meant to be. I don't know. There's a dark side of me. I'd love to be able to watch Carlton like I do watching the Essendon North game, but I can't.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't like. I don't think I could ever do a live watch. People would log off so quickly. I am an abomination when I watch the football. Awful. I spent the whole last quarter basically in the fetal position. It was awful. I'd be unwatchable. You are actually, cool, collected, and interesting and engaging.
At times. I mean, there's been some moments, but I mean, we've got something exciting.
I was going to say you haven't had too many close games. Like, did you have many close games yet last year where, like, heart attack style, like ours?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
I don't handle them very well as well. As Albert says, I'm really pissed off when I've got a boxing set up just to the left of me.
Okay.
I actually walk off camera, and you'll hear from a distance me say as many swear words as I know.
Okay. So you got it in you.
I've got issues. I'll be honest, Fiona.
No, not at all. Like, you just bring it out in that way. I bring it out at the foot. We all, it's a passionate game, and that's why I say on my streams, like, this is the place for you to do it. No, absolutely no judgment whatsoever. Get those feelings out.
We've done everything on the lives. We've cried, we've laughed, we've got angry, we've done ancient curses. We've done it all, really.
Amazing, wonderful. You have certainly cultivated an amazing community, and they come for you. That's a testament to you.
Thank you, Fee. I hope they do. I reckon some of them are just enjoying watching me descend into chaos year on year.
Hey, what do they say? Imitation or judgment is a form of flattery, jealousy, form of flattery.
It is, but I mean, we've got the best part of the show. This is my favourite part. We go through the games, Fiona. So if you haven't seen it, we're only allowed to move the teams in the power rankings as we talk about their games. So they can move up 100 spaces, move down 100 spaces. But once we've touched them, how the other teams move up and down will affect their position. So it's basically a rolling ladder. It started off pre-season. I did my power rankings. Then every week, the guest and me have done it game by game. And so far, we've got Collingwood, the best team in the land.
Yeah.
Mediocre ball is GWS. And 18th, the worst team in the competition, is the Eagles. This is going to be the first time we've done it as a game's going on. So when we do get to Brisbane, we're going to have to hypothesize. But, Fiona, we start off with your Bombers. Your Bombers, 14th. just got the chocolates, few injuries, but I was very impressed that you managed to get it done.
Yeah, as I alluded to, the resilience was really pleasing in the end. And you say that as supporters we're kind of calm. It's because in previous years we'd drop that game, we'd drop our heads, it would all get too hard, and we'd go on and lose either a close one or lose by 15 points. So resilience was great, a lot to work on. I don't think they're as bad as everybody thinks. They're probably 17th. Yeah, they've got a lot to tidy up and a lot to learn, but I don't think they're as bad as people think. I think they're sitting with Richmond in how they're going.
Yeah, you know what kind of warps North is when they're bad, they're really bad. Like we've played both for the bottom two in this rankings. Yeah. And Essendon, I mean, West Coast, I questioned if they were a football team. Like, honestly, like I watched that game and I know it sounded harsh, but I actually questioned were they a real football team. And then I saw North Melbourne's second half and I made the comment when these two sides play, it might be the first behind win game ever. It might be 1-0 and that's it. It was impressive, though, because North did have a little bit of fight against you, which does make me kind of query if they can find that and bottle it, they'll probably trouble sides.
Yeah, I mean, they were a lucky couple of goals accuracy last week away from beating Port. So I really do think that they're not quite... I think the expectation on them is so grand. It's a bit like your Carlton Blues. Everyone expected them to fire a shot this season and last season. And the expectation when you lose, just, it aggravates the whole view of the club. And so I think that's the issue with Kangaroos. They've got, with their 3,000 first-round draft picks, everyone expects them to jump up the ladder. And so when they lose, it's like, oh, well, I told you so. And I don't know. I think they were really disappointing against you. But then are we the shit ones in this equation? So... Well,
I did the video before about the Sheasel Gate, and I was like, if we do this show this week and they've lost, that looks the stupidest thing they've ever done. I do think a big part of it is they tried to get some fires going, and I don't think you're as bad as that game looked, because it wasn't a great game to watch neutrally, but I just feel like North don't have the ability to win a game that's open, and I can't see them beating any of the top 14 sides on that list.
Oh, I mean, they might, depending on where they play the Dockers. I reckon Dockers are super vulnerable. But it's a good point. They're probably well below. I thought we'd get the ascendancy. I thought our older crop were better than their crop. So our Merritts, our Ridleys, our Langfords were going to get the step up on their older crop. So their Simpkins, their Daniels, their older Darling, their older players. So I just don't think they have that leadership.
I think they lack a little bit of, I keep saying it, they lack a little bit of chutzpah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like they're the baby brother, and as soon as the big brother turns around, they need mummy and daddy to protect him. Yeah.
And they thought Clarkson would be that, but yeah.
Can we move Essendon up? Do you feel like Essendon, or are you sticking at 14th?
I'm keeping them there. Yeah, absolutely. If anything, you could shift them up one, but I think that's going to come back and bite me. So I would leave them there. But what do you think?
No, I'm with you. I mean, at the minute, I think you are. I said it last week when we had Essendon. We talked about them. I feel like this season, Essendon need to be the best of the third tier. We've got them in the 6s.
Yes.
I feel like, thank you, Mrs. Pom. I think 13th is like a huge win for Essendon this year. It gives you that chance to say, look, we've got a bit of a gap between the bottom four. Now it's a couple of signings. decent trade period. Let's make a push into the top 10.
Yeah, completely agree. And a lot of us are on draft watch because we've got Melbourne's number 1 draft pick. We've got St Kilda's number 2 draft pick. So a lot of us, if we can have at this stage, if we're looking at these power ranking ladders, as it stands, pick 4 and 5, and it's looking pretty good. So I think this is a year of more of development and practicing things in game and looking to the future, not so much right now, a la playing Harry Jones on a wing. Those things are not necessarily to help us win games now. They're to create for the bigger picture, to get some continuity into him, to get him, a bit more versatile.
Yeah, and look, I mean, that leads us on to a team that is top of the 3rd tier. And a derby, the Fraud City derby. There's 3 teams that are fraudulent in the AFL, and St Kilda played Fremantle. This game's bizarre, isn't it? Because, Fremantle, honestly, this is like my dating history at university. It promises so much, but it's incredibly disappointing, and it just leaves both of us depressed. Fremantle are horrific.
I mean, they're the team that I struggle to get a read on the most, along with Sydney. Freo were just they were so stagnant. They may as well have not turned up in that game. St Kilda, power to them. They smelled blood and they took them right to the end and they did damage. But I think they were playing against witches' hats.
Fremantle remind me of when you get a 65-year-old divorcee and he buys himself a sports car.
So like a midlife crisis.
Yeah. And you kind of look at him and you think, mate, what's the point? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your life's over. Yeah, you're not a young buck anymore. Just retire great. That is the biggest waste of a midfield. I look at Fremantle and we talked about it off camera. I look at teams and I judge how good they are by would I buy a player from their team. Fremantle's midfield, I would probably say would fit in most of the other midfields. They've got Josh Tracy, who's come out of nowhere, who I think is a top player. They've got all the gear, no idea.
Yeah, you can't bring Shai Bolton into a team like that and fire no shots. It's just, they're weird. I find their game plan very strange. It seems to change on the fly. And do you think this puts a lot of pressure on Longmuir, or do you think he's going to respond to the pressure?
I think Fremantle and Carlton have the same problem. You see the same problems every week, and then it's almost like there's an event horizon of pressure where people start saying, should you sack Voss? Should you sack JL? And then they'll go on a 3-game run. And then you're kind of like, okay, they're back. But by round 15, we're going to see this again from Fremantle. We're going to see it. I guarantee within 4 weeks, they lose another game by plus 40.
Yeah. I mean, the last time they played at Marvel was last year in June against the Dogs, and they got beaten by about 70 points. So it was the same story. They don't travel well, which doesn't bode well for winning finals and winning a grand final.
I agree with you. But I mean, St Kilda, got to hand it to Ross, the boss. He might be the ugly coach, they all say. It's a boring game style. But one thing I'll give him, and I'll always stand by this with St Kilda, structurally, if they smell blood, they're a tough team. And I feel like St Kilda are somewhere in that middle tier. I just don't know where. Yeah,
well, I mean, looking at these power rankings, Freo at 7 and St Kilda at 13, it seems so off because how could that be given the week that's just gone? But, I'm not yet. I got a bit with GWS. I'm not sold yet on St Kilda. I think they're really well drilled. I think they really take to a Ross Lyon style of coaching. But I'm just not that they don't have their second tier players are good enough. I just don't think they have the depth there to be a middle tier side.
I agree. I think they're just a team of role players, and they're one of them. I think I'd take just about any player at St Kilda as depth. I'd really want their players like as your 25th to 20th, with the exception of Wanganeen Milwera, who is a superstar. I feel like that's the problem with Saints. They need 3 or 4 sexy players to get into that next tier. Fremantle, though.
You can see why they're going so hard at a big name. That's what's missing from there. They've got a team of, really solid role players, B-grade players, but you just know that you need a team with 3 or 4 A-graders in order to get to that next level.
You know what I'm going to suggest, and this is crazy, right? I'm going to see, how do you think about this, Fiona? If I actually bring up the right sheet on my screen, if we move Fremantle, right, and we do this, right, for the time being.
Yeah.
And we do that, because we've still got to talk about these teams.
Yep. I'm comfortable with that. I'm good.
Because I feel like St Kilda do deserve to go up. They won that game by 60. But Fremantle need to get the hell out of my 8.
Thank you.
Get out of my 8.
That's skewing. Yeah, that was skewing the middle tier here for me. So does that mean we can't move Sydney, or Sydney can still move, right?
Yeah, they can. They can move back up. This is why this is hard, because we make a decision on the game.
Okay, gotcha.
And we've got another game. We've got another game to do here. Every guest host I have, is loving the Bulldogs, and so am I. I am all about what the Dogs are doing. I don't know how they're doing it, and now they're getting players back, and we should panic because now it's getting better. But Port Adelaide, they look horrendous. Like, they look really, really bad.
Yeah, if they don't have it their way, they fall to pieces. They don't put up a fight. Their pressure, it's a bit like Carlton, their pressure drops off a heck of a lot. They go into this zone type play when it warrants a man-on-man lockdown play. They're a bit weird in that respect, and I don't feel like Ken Hinkley did enough to move the magnets around. They were in the game up until I think it was about half time, and I don't think he did enough to really. When the Bulldogs started getting ascendancy, I think there were some things he could have done. So I think they got beaten in the coach's box, which is a real testament to Bevo, because boy, has he been under pressure, and he's just blocked out all the external noise, and credit to him with the whole Bailey Smith, Eagle Hagan, all the off field stuff, losing Darcy. That was recipe for disaster, but their depth has been tested and has passed the test with flying colours.
Yeah, and now Bont's back, Trelaw's back. It's genuinely scary, because we said it 4 weeks ago. They just kept doing it. And I kept emphasizing they get their best players back towards the bye. So, like, if they can keep doing it, you got problems, and they look sensate. Like, honestly, we had the Dogs top 4. I'm suggesting that maybe we move them up for the time being above Geelong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
Like, because we got Geelong to talk about, obviously, but
yes, true. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I feel like they deserve some recognition, but when you look at Port, I feel like Port.
Have the Dogs taken a big scalp yet? They haven't played so far. They haven't played this first tier, have they? Oh, no, they have played Gold Coast, I believe.
Yeah, they've played Carlton as well. Massive scalp.
Yeah, okay.
Massive scalp. Makes me feel better. The higher we can get the Dogs, the better I feel.
I see your strategy here. I see your strategy. You didn't tell me about that.
I'm clever. Not here for a long time, just a good time. But
well, I see the comment about Lob from JW Productions. Yeah, I agree. That game, Lob and O'Donnell, they were marking absolutely everything Georgiades battled well, but the intercepts, and that's not even so much their game. You know, they're one-on-one, really good one-on-one, but the intercept game was incredible too. So I completely agree.
I'm suggesting we move Port to 13th.
Yeah, yep.
And that's how we're looking 3 games in. I think we look fairly strong there. I think we're fairly strong.
Yep. Agree.
And last week, chat were mean, right? And chat tried to get me to call Adelaide fraud Adelaide. And I've refused to do it. I said I'm not doing it. I'm hot on Adelaide. I'm sticking with them. And this is chat's fault, right? Because you made me move them lower than I wanted to. And look what happened. Look what happened. 60-point win against my Blue Boys. Oh, dear. Carlton in a world of hurt. But Adelaide, tell you what, when they play football, honestly, it's sexy football.
It's enjoyable from a neutral. It's enjoyable to watch. I mean, they killed us by about 70. But with Carlton, the oscillation, Pom, like at least with Essendon supporters, we know we're just okay, shit or shitter. With you guys, it's exceptional or terrific to shit. There is very little in between. And I just think you should be expecting more from a team that's been together for a long time and has built chemistry and cohesion and a game plan with a coach who's been there for a while. I think you guys are, you know, within your rights to expect more than what you got over the weekend.
That was as bad a one-sided game as I've ever seen. Like, full credit. I gave, as I always do in my reviews, when you beat Carlton, I give you some love. Honestly, Adelaide read the script. They knew what Carlton were going to do. They took it on the outside, and you nailed it off camera. You said the way to beat Carlton is get them to spread, get that uncontested work going, and we had no answers. We looked devoid. But what is scary is Adelaide proved the question mark. Can they pick apart a side that wants to play rugged? And they broke Carlton's spine in 10 minutes, and that was a big confidence-building win for Adelaide. They were under a bit of pressure, as the Blues have been. I felt like Adelaide got something out of that, and the Blues have got more questions.
Yeah, I definitely think so. The 2 things I like that Adelaide did, firstly, I mean, being able to send an Isaac Rankin and a Rochelle to stoppages and to clearance, what weapons? That's just an extra string to their bow. Isaac Rankin is a true star, and I reckon he'll be in the All-Australian squad team, definitely. And the second thing is sending Dawson forward. Defenders hate when you send midfielders forward because it disrupts their planning, it disrupts the structure, it disrupts the matchups, and Carlton just did not take it well. Wiedering, who's so composed usually, looked lost, looked completely bereft of confidence. And that's by one simple move that the coach made to try and disrupt the Carlton structure.
I think you nailed it, and I've been saying it all year. I'm harsh on Voss, and I'll praise him. One of the things I praised Voss for the last 2 weeks is moving Cripps away from the centre, allowing him to float forward, give them something to worry about. And this week, as soon as it got hard, he broke the glass and went, Hewitt Cripps, you play defensive side. And they had a field day, and TDK, 1.7 million. If he's asking for 1.7 million, that's the biggest Ponzi scheme going.
But O'Reilly O'Brien has not been in good form. Draper killed him. Well, not killed him, but was dominant when we played them. He has been down on form. Maybe he penciled this in the calendar and was just really wanting to get up for it. But TDK, is that the worst game in a long time you've seen from him? Because I think it is from me since I've watched Carlton.
My big issue with Tom, and I've said it for 2 years now, is when he plays these big ruckmen.
Yeah.
I don't think he has football IQ. Where you watch Max Gawn, you watch Draper. I watched that game against Adelaide. He knew he was more agile and he was quicker and he was nimble, so he didn't get in a wrestling contest. He wanted the ball on his terms and said, well, good luck catching me, Riley. You're a big ogre. TDK seems to want to wrestle. It's almost like it's like a little brother trying to prove himself. He's got to fight him. And Riley O'Brien got inside his head.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. He was in his head, and he it's a measure of character, how you cope with a tag. And I always say it about Zach Merritt and how he's overcome tags over the years. It's a measure of character, how well you cope with it, and I guess deal with it in mid-game. And he did not cope with it at all. Yeah,
you know what as well? Shout out Carlo. I know he's a big Crow fan. You know what does turn me on as well? We said it a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Carlo as well. Matt Crouch holds them back. I was genuinely worried when he got injured because I was like, they get to play a little bit of a bit more pace, go a little bit more direct, and it worked. I think Crouch is no longer in that midfield, but I'm going to suggest something crazy, right? I think we've got to look at win-loss record in this as well. I think my problem is with my Blues. When there's no pressure, they're a bang average football side, right?
Yeah.
So for the time being, I'm suggesting Carlton go to 11th.
Okay. I think that's too low. I think you're above Freo for mine, but I'll leave you to do it.
I want Adelaide back 5th.
Okay.
Chat. Settle the bet. Settle the debate. LS, Carlton should be 13th. Mate, look, if I wasn't being so nice, I'd have Carlton here, mate. Don't worry. The way I'm feeling at the minute, I'd create a second tier, bro. But
I think Freo were an abomination, and I think they stunk it up worse than Carlton, personally. But so chat, tell us. I think 10th. Pommy thinks 11th.
Carlton 13th. You know what? I think we can settle this. We get to play the legend that is Gus's team this weekend. Look, whoever wins that, I'll move 2 places next week.
Oof.
Right? So if Saints win it, I'll put them in the 8. If Carlton win it, I'll put them back to 9th. But I think if we're honest, Carlton fans, if we were playing in Fremantle, you'd back Fremantle. If it was at the G, you'd back Carlton. But at St Kilda, Michael Voss wakes up at 3 a.m. and screams bloody Ross.
Do you have a bad ratio against them? I bet.
Yeah, Ross the boss, like, honestly, out coaches. Ross the boss invented how you beat Carlton, right? You match them at the furnace and you bring the ball outside, and then you invite the pressure and you kick side to side. And unfortunately, there's only about 6 teams have worked it out yet so far. But Ross was the first to do that. And in pre-season, if you go and watch the pre-season game, it was actually quite funny. In a pre-season game with no intensity, they exposed it within 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Just bear in mind, next week as well, my wife supports St Kilda. So if we lose, Gus, I am going to do that really angrily as well. I'll be moving it. But there you are. Carlton to 11th, and that's me being fair. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping one of these sides knocks us off. But then we go to probably the tie of the round. I was live for this game, and it was potentially the most enjoyable game I've ever watched. I can't remember when I've had this much fun not watching my team. And some question, it's got to be said, this is fairness to Geelong fans, that umpiring in the last 10 minutes might have been some of the more banter. We've got number 1 worst umpiring decision, the no mark in Adelaide Geelong. Number 2 is that running down tackle, holding the ball. Do I think it influenced the result? I still think they had a shot at goal to win it, and I always say that. But credit to Geelong. Geelong were number 1 in the preseason on this rankings, and they're a mighty good football club.
Oh, they're incredible. I was with you on the, in the chat on the live. It was an incredibly fun watch. What we saw were the two of the best teams in the league needing to take it up a level and play exceptional football to beat one another. It was skillful, but it was tough and tight and contested. But there were still, lots of marks and tackles. It had everything. And dare I say, was it a preview of the grand final? My team won't be making it anytime soon, so I'd be happy to watch both of those teams play. The rundown tackle, in my eyes, that is absolutely a legging, so no free kick. But the supposedly touched goal that Blitzarves touched, that was not touched at all. And I don't know
that
how
was robbery as well.
That Pies, you should be upset. That was a goal because there was I think there was about, at least 5 inches of space between Blitzarves' fist and the actual ball on the replay. So that was a robbing, but the rundown tackle from Bobby Hill, sorry, Bobby, definitely below the knees. Free kick against.
I think you and LS, and I love you both. I think you're letting your Collingwood hatred shine through.
No, I said they should have got the goal. There's no bias here.
Sean Manor honestly shit himself and dropped that ball on impact. And I thought it was good. I agree with the Blitzarves. I still can't believe, and I said it in the live, we spend this much money on cameras and somehow we still have cameras from when MSN was a thing. I don't get it.
And then they say we can clearly see that there's a fist on there, and I think, no, you can't. You don't try and trick us.
Do you know what I mean? I've got to say, can I just say, Collingwood fans in chat, I know there's a few of you, I've seen you in there. Bobby Hill makes me smile. Like, he makes me happy to watch football. There's just something about Bobby Hill.
Yeah, and, I know us Essendon fans like to really give it to Andy McGrath, our little defender back there, but he kept Bobby Hill. He made Bobby Hill a non-factor on Anzac Day. He was in Bobby Hill's head all day, and he absolutely took him to the cleaners. And you see outside of that, when he has such a big impact, how hard that is. So just a little shout out to Andy McGrath, because us fans are very hard.
He told him up. He did proper time. Well, you know what? I'm going to propose here. Look, do we drop Collingwood?
Nah.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I still think, that the two best. I would probably. How's the Brisbane game going? What's the score?
Brisbane are currently 11 ahead.
Points? Not 11 goals.
11 points.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I would bring Geelong up. That's what I would do, but I'd keep Collingwood there. Yeah.
Do we put them second?
Yes.
You know what? We'll give Brisbane a chance to get more of a lead to get their game back, but it's going well. It's going well. Well, then we come on to the basement derby. Eagles at Melbourne. This game here was... I watched this game this morning while I was doing the graphics for my review. And honestly, I didn't realise how bad a game my chat were telling me was a really exciting game to watch was. Like, I don't know if you were teasing me, chat, but Jesus, that game was a who's who of who can't kick. That was a poor game. Melbourne, though, in their credit, got the chocolates. Hardly convincing, because my issue with Melbourne is they're a stoppage and clearance side, but nothing else. And I think we're starting to see Melbourne's midfield die.
A question for you. Who is Melbourne without Max Gawn? Who is Melbourne?
Yeah. You know what? Melbourne remind me of a team that thinks the football still played in the 90s. It's like a game style that if we were playing this game in 1999, it would be the best side in the league.
The Lunchtime Catch-Up Podcast. Hello, this is the Essendon podcast. Hi, Scotty. Max Gorn really is in that ledger status. Yeah, he's essentially, this is why I say when I watched Melbourne, I think, how on earth, like, who is this team without Max Gorn? You can't, there is so much reliance on him, and sometimes he looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders because he does. I used to think it was Cripps carrying a full football team, but this is next level. He is carrying this football club off the field and on.
I agree. And I said this last week when we had Ian on. I look at their side now, and you know what? I used to see Stephen May down back and shit myself.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't anymore. Like, I don't look at him anymore and have the fear. Petrarca, I don't really have that fear anymore like I do playing Lockie Neal. I know he's a good player, but I feel like you can contain him. I agree with you. I feel like it's gone or nothing. And Pickett doesn't excite me anymore like he used to last year. I feel like he's got one foot in the Fremantle door. This game was hard to watch. I think both of these teams are in problems, but I'd say Melbourne have more problems because they haven't even admitted they're in a rebuild yet. Yeah,
they are in denial. With Petrarca, I think you're only as good essentially as the people, as the players and teammates you have around you, culturally, spiritually, and, you know, talent-wise. And I just think he's been failed by those around him. And I think with Pickett, like, compare him to Isaac Rankin. He's in the same boat where Adelaide can throw this small forward into the middle and he has such a big impact. It's the same with Pickett. You throw him in the middle, and it was almost, when we played Melbourne in the first quarter, it was Pickett or nothing. He dominated. So I just think he's just looks a little bit, as you say, disinterested, one foot out the door. And I just think with the Gorn influence, he can't be doing this for a full season. Emotionally, it's going to take its toll. Their forward line is just isn't. I think it's the worst in the league, Tommy.
You know what?
Maybe
when we do the draft, right? And I actually went through and watched the draft and trade footage. It feels like ever since I've done content, we have said Melbourne need a forward. And what I don't understand is everyone criticises Carlton's list management. I've heard people criticise your list management. For some reason, Melbourne get away with, like, their master stroke to get a key forward in was bringing in Josh Shackey a couple of years ago, who we already know was shit. And he's now playing village football. It doesn't feel like they've ever addressed that need. And there's been forwards around, and they haven't addressed it.
They're trying to do that because they try and play like Collingwood, who don't have a big bulking key forward. But what they don't have is the quality outside of that, like Collingwood do. They've got the midfield bulls and they dominate stoppages and clearance. But I think they're coming, when we looked at their game, when we played them, they're in the bottom echelon of what they do with the ball post clearance and post stoppage. So they can extract the ball, but it's after that. It's the players around your Petrarcas and the Olivers who get the ball out of the congestion, who are really letting them down. And when you're dropping a player like Fritsch, I think that's where you see, And I mean, I'm so sorry, Demons fans, but it's very good for Essendon if they stay where they are on this power ranking and on the actual ladder.
Look, I watch Melbourne a bit. And Lunchtime Podcast, exactly. It feels like it's obvious what they need, but they refuse to commit to it. It's almost like their brains prohibit them. Like, I remember Tim Membry not being offered a contract, and I was like, I know Collingwood are in for him, but if I'm Melbourne, I'm saying 200k more. Stay here, help Van Ruin. Like, I'd take the knock in my cap, but I think Fiona's nailed it about how they play football, because look at sides that are quick that have played them. North Melbourne, 60 points. North Melbourne will literally win the ball, get it out wide, Hail Mary. And in the season preview I did at North, I said it's going to bite them in the arse against good teams, but it will work against bad teams. Sun 60 points. Geelong, who I don't think are a quick side, but they're invasive, 40 points. You guys by 40 points. And then, yes, they beat Fremantle at home, but I'm pretty sure me and my kids could play them at the G and beat Fremantle.
Yeah.
I actually think that Melbourne will finish where they are now on this ladder.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And
I can't see anyone else losing to them.
Yeah, I think unlike the Bulldogs, they've handled their off-field stuff poorly in comparison. Instead of embracing what was happening and being upfront, I think they've let it infiltrate the players' minds, and it was probably bigger than what people thought. Because now, Clayton Oliver needs a rest mentally, physically. There's just something not quite right there. So yeah, I can't see them moving, definitely not out of that third tier. So I would keep them there.
You know what? Controversial call.
Yeah.
But when do West Coast play Melbourne?
And where is another good question. When and where?
I know they beat them at Optus. I'm pretty sure they play them twice, don't they? Yeah, they do. Oh. Big Pom call right now. Round 21, Marvel Stadium. Eagles win that game.
At Marvel. Melbourne don't play Marvel. Why are they playing at Marvel?
Honestly, I'm telling you, Melbourne at Marvel, Eagles win that game. Round 21. You've got an early one.
Yeah. I'd be willing to put money on that, and I don't even know how to put a bet on. That is the strangest thing I've ever heard. I know West Coast have a lot of fans. They kind of travel their fans too. So is it because of their smaller fan base? I don't think. Melbourne don't have a lot. Melbourne fans don't turn up to their games. That's the problem. So maybe Marvel can be their new home.
Hey, Claire, I'm with you. I love Tim Membry. Most underrated, unloved footballer in the league. Do you know what I mean? I'm a sucker for a guy 6'4" and tats. Do you know what I mean? I'm in my single mum phase. Do you know what I mean? But I'm with you. But no, I agree with you. I don't think we can move either of these sides in short. Because there's nowhere lower than 18th. And moving Melbourne just seems counterintuitive to move them tomorrow.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
LS, his mum and dad might not love him, but I do. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You don't need your mum and dad's love as long as you got Uncle Pom's love. But then we've got Sydney versus Round 0. I told you they were a fraud. You all laughed at me. Round 1, you laughed at me. Round 2, round 3. Oh, but Pom, they beat a side round 4. They're still rubbish. The biggest fraudulent side ever. I told you, you're all conditioned to believe GWS are good. And I'm here. I'm like unveiling the mysteries. Sydney battered them. And Sydney, I don't even know if they're a football team. GWS again proving you make the game slightly tough. They've got nothing. GWS, horrible.
Yeah, they're absolutely on my can't trust list and have been since the start of the year. I'm like you, unconvinced by everyone having them in their top 4 ladder predictions at the start of the year. Yeah, and the Swans are a really hard read. The other one, their injury list, their depth is being tested heavily. Their injury list is long, and there's a lot of quality on there. So I reckon they're doing pretty well with what they've got.
Yes, Sydney are weird, right? Sydney are weird because I look at Sydney and it feels like they're inverse Dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like with Dogs, when they had the injuries, they kind of showed something and it felt like their B grade has stepped up to become A grade. Like Riley West looked like prime Trelaw for 4 weeks. It was crazy watching him. Shout out my mate Cheggers, who I sold him for a 4th rounder, Riley West, in our Dynasty League at the end of last season because I said he's absolutely pissed. he's turned into prime Trelaw. But Sydney feel like if you add all them players back, they'll be a good side. I agree here with J-Dub. I've got a sneaky feeling that they're like Port Adelaide. We're bagging them, but come September, they'll sneak into 8th.
I disagree. I don't think they're like Port Adelaide. I think they're miles above Port Adelaide as a club, as an organisation, and as a team. The quality on their injury list. I mean, you take out Papley from that team, and Mills, and that in itself is a completely different team. So I think I completely agree. I think they could end up in the 8, absolutely.
Yeah, what I mean about Port Adelaide, every year, Port Adelaide, you never have them in your 8, or you have them in the 8, but you can't explain why they're in your 8. I feel like they're going to be that Port Adelaide again, where at the end of the season, they'll be sick for something, and we're like, how did that happen?
Yeah. I don't know. I still think, I don't know about you in terms of coaching succession plans, but I think that's a recipe for disaster, and I don't think they'll find their wheels. But I definitely think Sydney will. Absolutely. You never write off Geelong or Sydney, ever. Up they go, definitely. Above Dockers.
I'm going to guarantee everyone that is actually the ladder at the end of the season. That 13th to 18th. I reckon 13th to 18th, that is actually the ladder.
Oh, yes. Again, Dockers, I reckon they might be lower, but definitely above St Kilda, I think, Pommy, for Sydney.
You know what? I'm going to have to move Sydney down, right? I'm going to move Sydney down, GWS, right?
Oh, you're going in the 8.
Sydney, I'm going to have sneaking in 8th. Okay. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep.
Actually, you know what? They're more of a fraud than them.
After this week, I don't think they were as bad. The last quarter, they dug deep and they started winning the contested ball and they came really close. Freo were witches' hats. They never had a look in against St Kilda, so I would switch. Yep, great, perfect.
Really want to put these here. Can I put GWS 17th and Carlton 18th and just be really happy with myself?
Don't worry. GWS just have to wait. What round do we play them? We'll play them straight back into form. They can just pencil in a 90-point win.
And then this is going to be interesting, this one. All right. This is going to be interesting. Richmond Hawthorn. I was live for this game, right? And Richmond was so impressive up until 5 minutes to go in the second. They switched off. They gave the stupidest goals I've ever seen to Hawthorn. Hawthorn did the business, but Richmond feel like they're so close to being a better side than they are. I'm really impressed. They remind me a lot of Hawthorn 3 years ago when Mitchell first took over. They're playing the right way. It looks like once they get a bit of maturity, get the right people in, they will be a good side because it's genuinely pretty good. It's just lacks talent and lacks consistency. Hawthorn, though, they are ruthlessly good.
Oh, it hurts me to hear that.
I'm sorry. I know you hate them.
Well, it's just in my blood as an Essendon supporter. I have to hate them. It's scary. It's scary what Sam Mitchell has done with them. It's just not quite fair, to be quite honest, that they're back contending. I mean, they finished 6th last year, and you would expect an element of progression again this year. I think they're on this power ranking. I think we've got them about right. You could possibly move them above Adelaide, but with the Tigers, look, I did not give Adam Uze this much credit. I didn't think I thought they would really, go down the ladder this year, and I had them below Eagles, I think, in my ladder. So it's a credit to him. He's getting the most out of these young kids at the moment, and they just lack a bit of refinement. Their skills under pressure, when pressure's put on the ball, they just lack a bit of refinement. But they got stars.
I agree. I feel like that third tier is about right? 30 to 18. Can I put Richmond above Melbourne? No. I do think Richmond will beat Eagles this week, though, coming up. Like, take that to the bank. Richmond are a better football side than the Eagles. Hawthorn, it's interesting. Everyone knows I'm a closet Crom man. I love my Adelaide. Would we have Hawthorn above Adelaide? Part of me wants them above Adelaide.
Because?
I just think they are a better side. I think they are a more complete side.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think based on so far, I think up they go. And you know what? That could be a pretty close to that first column too. I know you're saying the last is what it will look like, but I reckon the first, pending injuries and that kind of thing. I know it's early in the season, but
no, I agree with you. I mean, we've got a 17-point lead coming to the end of the third. Looks like Brisbane are going to win it. It doesn't look massively convincing, though, but
right.
I don't think we could put, even if Brisbane win that by 40, I don't think I can put them over Geelong anyway.
No. Definitely not. I think that's about right for them.
And I don't think the Suns are better than Adelaide. And I don't think the Suns are worse than Sydney, St Kilda, GWS, Fremantle or Carlton.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah, I think that's about, yeah. I don't know. Are Suns as good as everybody's saying? Maybe I haven't watched enough of them closely.
You see, I feel like the Suns have beaten up on children, right? But I do think their game style beats more teams than 8th to 12th.
Yes. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think... Obviously, you've got the Gold Coast loss to Richmond.
Yeah.
Which always plays into it, but I'll always give that as an outlier because I think Gold Coast are capable of completely imploding in them types of games.
Yeah, but, and at the MCG, like that's one of their biggest question mark on them. Can they play away? They're so young in that respect. And inexperienced, not so much young, but inexperienced at away. And that kind of put a strike through that, didn't it, when they beat Richmond?
It did, yeah. And like, I can tell already doing this game, I know Teresa's in, who's a Pies fan, but like the most Fremantle thing ever is Fremantle beating Collingwood next week. Like, that is the most Fremantle thing I can think of.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I can also see, after I've bagged Melbourne, them getting a result against Hawthorn and me sat here going, what's going on?
Yeah, I can see that happening too, actually. There are a few games next week that I think could go really either way. Not many dead ringers in the bunch.
It's tough on it. I can also see your boys, Essendon, getting over Sydney.
Oh, no. No, that one's a foregone conclusion, Pom. But I'm looking at like the Suns and Dogs. That could go either way. I mean, at home.
Yeah, in Darwin as well, which always makes it. It always makes it a little bit intriguing, doesn't it? Because it's a bit slick. Like,
yeah, and
the Dogs ball doesn't count.
Yes, and I think I saw that the Dogs have already played at 9 different stadiums or something. You know, GWS are out there complaining that they travel a lot, but the Dogs have actually played at like 9 different stadiums.
Yeah, the Dogs just get passed around, don't they? Though, to be fair,
but they get the job done. This is the thing with them. They don't use it as an excuse. They don't use it as a deficiency, a liability. They just get the job done anywhere, and that's why I'm so impressed with Luke Beveridge's coaching at the moment. You'd think Darcy, not Luke. What's his name? What's his first name?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. Oh my God, brain fade. Sam Darcy goes down, and so many people think the Dogs are done or they can't cover him. But yeah, Well done, Bevo.
He keeps getting it done. I mean, even Aaron Norton looks kind of like a footballer as well. Which
you've got to bring Waitman back into this team too, who's arguably, one of the premier small forwards.
You know what? Just looking at the fixtures next week, and we'll come on to it in a minute when we do our tips, but I look at this ladder. This ladder could totally change next week because, literally every team who has got, 2 spots above them or below them plays the team, which makes it intriguing.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, this could completely shift.
It's why it's tough.
Have you ever, I don't think, has it ever moved? Not at all? Have you never not moved?
That's quite rare. That's quite rare that we've done it a couple of times tonight. We did it a couple of times last week as well. It's getting probably more common just because we've got a little bit of a body of work from week to week as well. There was a few jumps, but it's going to be intriguing because, let's just say Port beat Adelaide. Oh, yeah, Eagles have never moved. You're right.
Well done, Matt. Yeah, true.
Oh, Matt, did they? Did they not move, though? Because I'm pretty didn't we have North at the bottom in pre-season? I'm pretty sure the bottom was North, Richmond, Eagles. No, sorry, Eagles, North, Richmond in pre-season.
Yeah, but then it would have moved when Richmond, after round 1, when Richmond beat.
But I think Eagles weren't 18th. I think which team? I do think right as it stands now, I'm pretty sure we had Sydney 8th, first ever show.
Okay.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong about Eagles. I'm pretty sure Eagles, because they had that little sexy couple of games in pre-season where they kind of flirted with being quite good. Where,
a bit,
North and Richmond looked horrendous in pre-season. And then obviously Richmond beat Carlton, so they I think Richmond jumped up to 12.
Yes, yeah.
That's where we had Gold Coast at the start because I didn't buy the Gold Coast hype. But you've all converted me, chap. You've all converted me.
So you're converted
intriguing.
But not on GWS. You're converted on the Suns, not GWS. Is that coaching? Does the coaching have anything to do with it? Dimar versus Kingsley? Or does that not play into it at all?
Well, you see, I trust Gold Coast at home, where, I don't even think playing at GWS is a fortress. If Carlton were playing next week in Gold Coast, I'd be worried. If we played in Sydney, I'd be like, okay, what, 4 people will come and see him?
What, you're saying? No, Gold Coast have less fans.
No, but Gold Coast fans are paid actors, so they'll be...
So are GWS's.
Yeah, but GWS people just pretend to like them. Gold Coast, it's like a benefit. It's like an 80k a year subsidy if you spawn.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair.
Do you know what I mean? I'd be a Gold Coast fan channel if the AFL want to pay me 120k a year. How about fuck it, let's do it.
Honestly, yeah.
But I think that's right. I think the only comments in chat, LS is adamant that Adelaide are better than Hawks.
Oh, okay. I mean, I am turned on by Adelaide's forward line because I love big, tall forwards. I love a tall forward. I absolutely froth a tall forward. So I would say I would be swayed by that alone.
You know what, LS, just because you've got a 6-pack in your profile picture. And I like you.
He's moved, Adelaide. Okay.
Look, and Teresa's backing it in as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Teresa's backing it in, and I trust Teresa as well. So there you are. That is your power rankings for whatever round the AFL is called. It's round 7, isn't it? 8? Round 8. Round 8.
Yeah.
That 0 round has thrown me. But I genuinely, I think if you asked me to grade teams, that
Well,
wouldn't be far off.
Don't forget, Pommy, Essendon and Gold Coast are a game behind. So this is based on everyone playing 8 games, but we've played 7 because we missed because of the tornado or whatever, the cyclone.
Yeah.
So we're a game behind.
Like we're such a professional league that we're not even doing a reverse.
Exactly. So I think I read somewhere that the mid-season trade period or draft period on 28th of May is going to be on averages, not on position on the ladder, which how is a professional sport? How has it got to that? Like, as if you have not found a resolution. How much money is this corporation making to not have a resolution to this?
Honestly, Fiona, every week I rant about the AFL.
Oh.
And I genuinely don't understand how they are so shit at running a sport that only we care about.
Yeah.
Like, legit. There's 38% of Australia cares about AFL and no one else does. Like, how can we not run it properly? Like, it can't be that hard, can it?
And for the amount of money they're making, no. It's honestly, the writing is like the answers are so obvious to the everyday fan that it's just blasphemy that the AFL don't see it and make the changes. Yeah, exactly. Lunchtime. Exactly, Scotty. We are a loss behind to the Suns, so maybe the Suns move up to 6, maybe. But yeah, I think even if we had played Suns already, we would have lost and we'd still be at this power ranking.
You know what? I do love the lunchtime catch up as well. Another good Edison pod. They were kind enough to have me on in the off season. Hopefully, one of them boys will come and join me on here later in the season. We can do that. But then, right, Fiona, you've done the hard bit now because Fiona said she was nervous at the start of the show. She did the hard bit, right? Now we're on Guess the Player. So this is a game. This is a teamwork game, Fiona. We've been very good as a team so far. Right?
Yeah.
Now we have to put it to the test. So you'll see here, we've got Paul and Dylan leading the way. They got 5 players right in 60 seconds. Leckdog, this just shows how bad my friendships are. Leckdog is like one of my best mates in real life. And evidently, he can't work out my clues. He got 4. Caden and Marnie from Kanga TV3. And Ian, a guy that I spend a lot of time. We do a lot of shows together. Evidently only got 2. So either I'm a real bad friend or my friends don't know me. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with my friends don't know me well enough, right? So what we do, sounds complicated, but you have got some great people in chat. Some people in chat are very clever. We are going to play a game of charades, Fiona, right? So you get a minute. And I will give you clues. Right now, I can tell you that we are doing the easiest category in the world. We are doing midfielders, right? So these will be current midfielders in the AFL. So this is how the clues go, right? I would say, Fiona, his surname is something you put on butter. You spread it on butter. I mean, you spread it on bread, and you would say butter. And I'll be like, his first name begins with Z, and you'd be like, oh, Zach Butters, and I'd be like, yeah, well done.
Oh God, I am the worst person to take to trivia. I just don't have a brain that is good at trivia. So this is concerning for me. But all right, I might hit an all-time low on this ladder with 1 correct.
Nah, Fiona, you should right. Chat help her out as well because look, you cheated to get Paul and Dylan to 5 because that was pretty much chat. I should get rid of Paul and Dylan and just have your face. Matt, yeah, great start. Pom fucked up his actual example clue. This is where we are, Fiona. This is where we are. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is...
Help me, chat, please. I don't want to make a fool of myself here.
Give us pastry-based questions. To be honest, right, Fiona, it's all on me, right? It's all on me. Look, I'm the one who does stupid stuff. So what you'll see now on your screen will be an advert for steak, right? You'll see the minute timer.
Yeah.
Look, you see, LS would have got it. Right? Okay, right. We're going to start. Are you ready?
Okay.
Just be calm. We'll be all right.
Yep.
We're going to do this, right? Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Right. The first name is a type of metal, and his surname would be, his nickname's probably Side Arse.
Side bottom.
First name?
Still side bottom. Still side bottom.
He's the sexiest, best midfielder in the competition. He's side bottom's best mate in the midfield. He's got a famous dad.
Nick Dacos.
Okay, cool. The next one is, he sounds like he's the son of a very famous commentator in the AFL, JB. He does have multiple brothers. One of them's out with concussion. His first name is a prince. Yeah.
Is it Angus Brayshaw?
No, the other one.
Andrew?
Yes. Okay, we're good at this. Okay, fuck me. Let's skip that one. Okay, his surname of this guy is also started so finished. Shh. Right. Okay. This guy's a grass-eating genius. There you are.
Matt Rao.
Oh, there we are. 4.
Yes. And I didn't even have to use the chat, but thank you for being there for me as support chat.
No, there you are. You see, look, Fiona, look, obviously, I can tell you now, look, you are proudly in that second place, right? So,
woo. How on earth in 1 minute did you get out 5 clues for the 5?
To be fair, Dylan got rucks, which was fairly easy.
Oh, okay, rucks, yep.
And Paul got forwards.
That's
to
pretty
be
easy.
fair.
The midfielders are hard because there's so many of them. With the rucks,
to be fair, right, probably the person who could have done the best was Marnie, who wasted 40 seconds on the first one, Harry Sheasel. And and I got so pissed off with her that I just said, Marnie, he's Jewish. And she goes, oh, Sheasel. And I'm like, literally, that should have been my first fucking clue. We could have rattled this off.
What was your clue? Does it rhyme with Cheesel?
My clue was his first name is the son of the one of the grandsons of the king, and his surname is a cheese-based snack.
Is it rhymes with cheese, or is that too easy?
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that far ahead. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think I would have got it if he's Jewish. I wouldn't have got that. My mind wouldn't have clicked into that. So Marnie did well.
She did. So you are now in second place. Shocking clue. LS, what? Proper fucking accountability from me, mate. Look, I don't build myself as a guy to play. Look, never on my CV, it does not say anywhere good at charades, right?
LS, you are tough taskmaster.
It is. I love LS though. But now we come on to the exciting one, Creators Challenge. Now, we don't have Ian's score, but I can tell you, Ian, before this game was played, is somewhere between Daz and Kanga TV, depending on what it is. I will reveal his score next week though. But the amazing Fiona has built Team Fiona, right? Tell me about Team Fiona. Take us through.
I have gone, look, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I don't play Supercoach, so I enlisted the help of a friend, Matt, thank you, to give me some help with this. And I feel like all of these players score very well. Is that correct? Is that how Supercoach works?
Yeah. Hey, look, Fiona, you're convincing me you know what you're on about. So, I mean, that's the main thing.
I thought I better not try and start talking about this with any kind of authority and just be completely transparent, because I do feel that that's part of my charm. I lay it all out there. And so, yeah, when I got the help, I was told that this was a team that would tear it up.
That's calling it out. Like, I didn't think of you. I was like, Lange, are you trying to betray? I've got to tell a funny story here, right? The guy second place does this for a living.
Oh, no.
So Dog, he literally has a career right in data for Supercoach. And the fact that he's currently second on this,
wow.
I can't tell you how much it turns me on because I tease him. And Fiona, I will do anything for you to beat him. Like, please, please. I am so team whoever does the Supercoach. I will be cheering all these idiots home this weekend for you.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. I reckon it's pretty good, especially after this weekend. I reckon, the only one potentially that I was maybe iffy about was Whitfield, but I'm told he does really well, scores very well.
Part of the reason I hate GWS, they're really good at Supercoach. In reality, though,
are they
not
really
real good?
So what exactly does that say? What exactly does that say about GWS, that they score well on Supercoach? But
they just have a lot of players that get a lot of the ball and do fuck all with it.
Oh, so useless possessions, wasted possessions, but that rack up.
Hey, LS, we'll have none of that slander around here. We've got Fiona, right? She's got a tattoo of Zach Merritt, right?
As if you do me like that, LS. First appearance, as if. Please.
But look, I like that. To be honest, on paper, and this is the problem with Supercoach, on paper, that looks really fucking good.
Yeah. It doesn't eventuate, usually.
Well, it's a bit like, when you put a tip in.
Right.
It looks, every time you look, Fiona, I'm sure you do tipping, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
Like every week in your mind, there's 9, isn't there?
Yeah. The reality that hits you bang on at Sunday night, doesn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Look, I managed to only have 2 because I forgot to tip in my own tipping league against the North. So I got the away team North. I've managed to pull it back to 4, technically 5, but you'll look here, right?
Yeah.
Currently, if the results stay the same, you'll see Ian is green 7. Mm-hmm. He is about to jump up to 8 if Brisbane hold on. He will be the tied leader. The asterisks, Fiona, for your own benefit, means we had to tip our games when there was only 8 games played.
Right. Okay.
So the maximum we could get was 8 out of 8. 8 out of 8. Me and Caden only got 7. Dogs leading the way with 8, and then Daz, Paul, and Dylan only got 6. So this is a chance here for you. So I am not fighting you in this. If you I'm just here doing it for vibes and offering my input. This is all on you, this Fiona. But the first game of the night next week is Dockers versus Pies. Who are we going with here?
My first instinct said Dockers, but then my head came into it and reminded me that Pies are like the best travelling team in the comp, or one of. But my first instinct said Dockers, so let's go with that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Look, so we got something to talk about next week. Pom's going to back the Pies in. But
okay.
I agree with you. Even though I know Collingwood, they've lost something 6 games interstate in a decade or something stupid.
Yeah.
It is the most Fremantle thing is to get beaten 60 points by Saints and then win 12 points against Pies. And us all be like, are they good? Are they rubbish?
Exactly. I just think the pressure has been so high on Fremantle, and we're only at Sunday. We're only a day after they played, and they're going for the coach. I just think when they go really hard at a coach, as hard as they are going, I think they're sorry, Teresa. I'm so sorry. Please don't hold it against me. I'm probably wrong. So, there's that.
Well, then we've got My Blues. My Blues entertain Ross the Boss. Who are you going with here?
Blues easily. Yeah. Blues by convincingly 33 plus.
I love you, Fiona. I love you. You got me back on side.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. Blues fans. I'm actually confident on that.
She's confident. LS, she's confident. What more can we say? Look, an Essendon fan has tipped us with confidence. Do you know what I mean? We've got to feel confident. Look, I'm not as confident as Fiona, but I am. I wouldn't tip against the Blues. Demons, Hawks.
Hawks for me.
I'm with you. I mean, we've just bagged. We've just spent 10 minutes bagging them. You know what I mean? She's done it. Look, you know when to worry, LS, is tomorrow on Tuesday night when we're with Jake and Terry asks that stupid question to Swoop when he goes, Swoop, who do you think is going to win? And then Swoop looks me in the eye as his friend and lies and says Carlton are a really good fucking football team. That's when we worry, because he's done it twice this year and he's lied to me. See, look, Sandra. Hey, look, see.
Thank you, Sandra. I got some shade from Gus, so thank you, Sandra. That's nice.
He's just a big Saints boy. He's a big Saints boy.
I know. I'm sorry. Look, again, I'm probably wrong. I'm pissing people off left, right, and centre here. Teresa, Gus, God. Can I sit on the fence? I mean, there's no fence in these options. He's making me tip.
Hey, honestly, it's the worst part of my weekend, LS. Swoop telling me that the Blues are back, just because I swear he's building me up. So I'm depressed. But then the Bombers, your Bombers, versus the Swans.
Oh, yeah, no. Swans. You can't tell me more. Thank you, Gus. Appreciate it. But no, well done to your Saints. They were great on the weekend. You can't confidently tip the Bombers. You can't. I know it's at Marvel. And
I am so confident.
Oh, don't do this. See, now you're doing this to me. This is reverse psychology. That's not fair.
Look, Sydney, I don't trust them. Bombers, Swans get a big win this weekend against Frauds Giants. They're going to come in cocky. Dean Cox, I'm back, baby. Zach Merritt masterclass.
Stop it.
See, look, I'll ask with you.
It's not nice to do to a lady to get her. Bombers will be, you're just doing that because you're just trying to roll me up.
I think you lot are reading way too much into it. Look, I said it when we covered it. I think Sydney, I don't trust them. And you know what? I just feel like if it gets into an ugly fight, you win.
Swans by 300. I mean, this is what I'm going to the game expecting because this is just how we roll. Look, it would be a completely Essendon thing to do to limp over the line against North Melbourne and win against the Swans, who are just an incredible organisation. It's a very Essendon thing to do. So, look, I'm not 7-seater Peter. Absolutely, he has my whole heart. 2-meter Peter.
I genuinely can see it. I just feel like Sydney. I feel like they're still vulnerable. It's not the horse Sydney anymore. It's I need a little bit of cuddles and TLC, and I think Essendon. I think Essendon will do it.
Oh, I would love that. I would so love that. I need that in my life right now, Pom.
Ethnic, you and Fiona, honestly, you need to get around your boys a bit. Go on, get around them, get a bit excited. Gus, I've heard rumours he is. Have you ever seen him walk on water? Because I can neither confirm nor deny. But then
he's magical. He can do many, many things, Soul Merit.
You know what? This is a good question from LS.
That's in jest, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
You know, he's just going to turn it over. Why are you doing this? I am the guest here.
We do have fun, but then we've got the Gold Coast Suns versus the Dogs. This one is an intriguing one, isn't it? Because this would be the hugest scalp Even though it's in Darwin, this would be a huge, huge scalp for the Suns if they got it.
No, I'm so impressed by the Dogs. They've really grabbed me by the hair and have just got me, so impressed. So I'm going Dogs.
You know what? I'm going to ride in with you here. I think the Dogs are going to be good. You know what? I feel sorry for Andy McGrath because, like, Andy, I feel like halfback lockdown is his role.
Yeah, he gets some. Look, I will say this about old Andy. He is the product of others not always picking up their slack. I'm not going to name names, but some of the other defenders, more experienced defenders back there, not always staying on their man and wanting to come off their man and intercept. And then Andy McGrath has to go and, block space or shield another opponent. So, I mean, as I said earlier on Anzac Day, he lock down Bobby Hill, who is an exceptional small forward. And that's not an easy task. Bobby Hill said after the game in an interview that he hates playing on him and, but Andy makes him better. So, he's hard done by our fans.
That we haven't touched on that. That was gross.
Oh, yeah, Gus. It was his ankle was horizontal while he was vertical. It was, and the thing that made it like bone chilling for me was the look on his face. He was distraught. He was in absolute shock and he did not move. He was crouching his knees, holding his knees on the boundary for a good long time before the stretcher got all the way over to him. So thankfully, though, it's looking like it wasn't a break. It was just a really bad dislocation and I think a fracture in in his foot. So it's only looking at about, I think, 6 weeks or so.
It was one of them ones, when you watch it on the TV, you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know if there's anyone... I know Sandra, she's done a very similar mischief recently.
Okay.
Our lovely Sandra. But if you've ever broken your ankle, like, you can actually feel it. When you see someone else, I was like, oh...
Yeah, it's the hairs up on your and just the look, as I said, the look on his face together was like, oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we're both going in now. Port Crows, who we're going with here?
Crows, yep. I think they'll have the derby over Port there.
Do you know what I mean? To be fair, if you go back, Gus, through that period of drafts, like, it happens, unfortunately. It's one of them things. Like,
yeah, he's also if he'd gone number 2, he would be a non-factor. It's just this whole gone at number 1 and the expectation, and he won the Rising Star and all of that, So I think if he went at number 2 or 3, I think it would be a different story, and there wouldn't be so much expectation on him. Go down. Sorry, not the derby. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, Carlo. I saw it a million times up on the TV today, the Sydney versus GWS. Showdown. Yes, correct.
Still a derby, Carla.
Okay. See, mean. Why did you make mean to me?
Nah, it is the showdown. But if you actually look through that draft, though, like I always say this, there was a period, like it was about 2015 to 2019. Some of the draft, like it was loose. It wasn't like it is now. Like you look at that draft year, McGrath, but then you've got Taranto, who I'll stand by this. I still think Taranto is seriously overrated. Then Hugh McCluggage, he was pick 3, right? But he has gone strength to strength since then. Like if you look at Hugh McCluggage now to then, insane footballer. But Ben Ainsworth, Will Setterfield, Sam Petrescu-Seaton, Jack Scrimshaw, Griffin Logue. I'm more useful as a defender than Griffin Logue. Will Brodie, Jack Bowes, Jai Simpkin. Like, it's a lot. That draft there isn't clear cut. But I'll always say this. That top 18 was probably the 18 best players in the country. So all comes down to development, Fiona.
Agree. Yeah, completely agree. And it's no secret that we've got it terribly wrong for the best part of the last, 2 decades. But thankfully, I restarted my expectations and my judgment on development and culture when the new administration came into our club, and that has been in place for 3 years at max. So I'm talking the likes of Caddy, Kako, Roberts, well, not Reed, but I'm seeing how they develop and I'm judging from there. And so far, so good.
It's one of them things as well, because when people look back through the draft, and it's a dangerous thing to do, but I'm just looking at the 2016, I'm looking at my notes. If we, off the top of my head, I would say probably the best player in that draft would be somewhere between Bolton, Tom Stewart, and Josh Dacos. If you'd taken Tom Stewart at pick 40, pick 1, you would have been mocked if Tom Stewart didn't become Tom Stewart.
Yeah, fair.
Like that's how the draft works. Like, you go on what you know at the time. And to be fair, Sandy Dragons, Andrew McGrath could have been a top player. Top player. And I still think he's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, essentially what got us over the line for him ahead of McCluggage was his leadership abilities. He was the captain of pretty much all his football leagues, high school leagues. So his leadership ability is what turned the Bombers. So
yeah. Well, I mean, then we've got Tigers, Eagles, and this game really should be on at like 4:30 a.m. on Mars. This is like the Melbourne Eagles game that I did say when someone asked if I'd covered it. I was like, the AFL, by all rights, should just make them play behind closed doors and text us the result.
But would you give Eagles a chance if this was at home? If this was in WA, would you give? Because I would. I think the MCG factor is heavily determining.
I am going Tigers. Are you going Tigers?
I am. Yep.
I feel if this was at Optus, I'd probably give them a bit more of a prayer, like you say.
Yeah.
But
I think it's huge. I think it's everything in that. I honestly think they would get up for better defense, definitely. But I think they'd get up for it. I do. So I'm going Tigers purely based on the MCG factor.
Alas, if I was the CEO of the football, I'd just say that they play a game of pool, 5 pints down, captain versus captain, and whoever wins that game of pool can have the 4 points, and we'll just save ourselves 4 hours. Hey, Matt, I promise if the Eagles win, we'll move them off the bottom. I'll fight whoever we've got on to get them on 17th.
Yep.
Then the Cats entertain the GWS frauds.
Cats easily at home. Yep.
Cats by 100.
Yeah.
Cats by 100. And then we finish in what is an intriguing game, because this is weird. Brisbane seem to have to travel quite a lot in these fixtures where you probably don't want to travel. And they're in Tasmania this weekend against North Melbourne.
Nah, I'm taking the Lions. I think, tempting, but no, I'm going the easy route.
Well, I mean, at the minute, since we've gone, they have absolutely put on a field day, Brisbane. Brisbane are 35 ahead.
Yeah, okay. It's not quite as convincing as I thought it would be, to be honest.
I think in my preview I said Brisbane by 50.
Yeah, I think I said 60 at least.
Well, I mean, there you are. There are your tips. And if we go into the exciting thing, remember, Mrs. Pom put a prize up for all you guys. All you guys had to do was be subscribed to the channel, and she entered a free tipping. She did a free tipping comp where you get some cash prizes. Currently, I can say none of you have tipped a full 9 this week. You're all very poor. But I can say that Cardman22, God love him, will have got 8. The only one he got wrong is he didn't listen to the Pom show because he would have known that GWS are frauds.
Oh, yeah, and that was a halfie. That one could have gone either way, sort of, for those who think that GWS are. That's a good round of tipping.
It is, and I've got to give a shout out to Methodical Flame, right? Who was one of 3 people this week that tipped against. Which game did you tip against? You tipped against GWS. So there's only a few of you that actually listen to the content, that GWS are frauds. He was the only one in the top 5 as well who tipped Sydney, who was now going to extend his lead by 2 at the top of the table. Andrew Scott is second. Jans, Claire, Peter Haywood, Tiger Time.
Jeez, look how many people gave Geelong no chance.
There's a lot of Collingwood love in this chat.
Lots of Collingwood love there.
You know what? Aaron May, shout out you. You were one of the few that went Geelong.
Well done.
I think you were actually the only one, Aaron. Aaron, Jeremy. Cardman did it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, look, Pom. Terrible luck as well. It's his bloody competition.
Oh, no. I mean, you almost had North, don't worry.
Do you know what I mean?
It was only 3 points away from being a corrective.
Do you know what I mean? Gav, I think you've had the same week as me. I tipped GWS. Look, I said it to you last night. I was the biggest fraud this week. I tipped GWS. I hate myself. My team's rubbish. I tipped GWS as well. Everything went wrong. And also, chat, while you're in chat, if you go onto the PommyInOz website at the minute, you will see Mrs. Pom has updated the thing. So you've got a catch. This is the special edition for this week. It's yellow and egg-shaped tea. You won't find that anywhere else in the world. You've got the Make Carlton Great Again stuff. They are up on the website. You've got the PommyInOz new hoodies. Get your send down there. If you check your members' emails as well, your members, you will actually have a discount code as well. So if you actually go into the community tab, the members have a discount code. So we're looking at that. And Pommy is the GWS of tipping. You're damn fucking right I am. Absolute fraud, mate. I keep telling people, stop following me into tipping. Like there was some guy in the chat earlier saying, who did you tip against Brisbane and Gold Coast? I want to stick $500 on it. And I was like, well, I've tipped Brisbane. So if you want to make the money, tip Gold Coast. I was like, it's a fail-safe to make money. Just go against me. But Fiona, thank you very much for joining us. I've had so much fun.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's a thrill to share a couple of hours with you, or just under a couple of hours, and with your amazing following. So hope it hasn't been too painful for you all.
Yeah, you're nowhere near the top 50 of worst guests we've had. You're definitely in the top 3 of best we've had.
Thank you.
Chat, do me a favour. Go and say hello to Fiona. She's just started out. It's really nerve-wracking when you first do this. Like, it is. It's like, because you're talking into a camera and you're not really here. So it is quite nerve-wracking. So having you guys around makes us feel sane. So go and give her some love. She is really good. She's quite funny as well. And that's the biggest compliment I could give. She's all right for a bomber. She is. But fair to Fiona, it's really tough. We know it's tough for girls to get in here. And Fiona, honestly, she knows the game just as well as any of the boys. Honestly, and I keep saying this. I hear less stupid stuff from girls than I do boys. But you are good fun. You're really good. You know your football. You're quite funny as well. Fiona, what have you got planned this week for the wonderful world of YouTube?
This week, so I do a podcast, a forecast of our game where we'll preview Sydney and talk a bit about the game and play a few little games. I do it with a fellow podcaster, The Solution from the Windsor podcast. That will be on Tuesday. Yes, you are all welcome to join. Don't worry. As I said, I know my team shit. You don't have to come and tell me. You can just come and hang out, and you can jump on the chat and say, hey, I know it's a fan cams, but I don't mind if you don't barrack for Essendon. You can just come on and say hi. And yeah, it's a safe space. I don't talk shit about your team, definitely, or most likely I don't, because my team is shit. So it's fine. You're all welcome.
Yeah, go on. Give us some love. She's really good, is Fiona. I really like Fiona. Can we still? Well, I mean, tell you what, you might as well. I mean, I have you Carlton fans telling me we're shit when I know we're shit as well. So I mean, you might as well. I mean, it's always good to tell someone, because sometimes
I'll put my big girl thick skin off if I have to, but I would prefer you just come on and chat to me about any good restaurants or your favorite flavor of ice cream, or, you know, anything other than telling me what I already know. But it's cool. It's fine. I'm really happy to be in this space, and, you know, people, I know your Carlton supporters, Pom and Terry and all of those, but you've been an amazing support for me, and you know, a big welcoming into the space. As you say, it's a vulnerable thing to put yourself out there, but seeing you guys step out in your bravery and courage is inspiring. So thank you for setting the pathway, and hopefully I can set the pathway for more women to take up more space in the industry, because, yeah, it's lacking, and I think a lot of women have a lot of good things to say.
We do like the girls. We're starting to see a few of them. I've got to say, when I first came out, I always say this. I was probably the first foreigner to do it.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
So I know what it's like to feel like the odd one out. But like, I remember when we first started getting the girls, and now they seem to be everywhere as well, which is really cool, and it's good fun as well, because it's good banter as well. There's some real good, like, not much hatred between the content creators, which I think makes it fun. Like, I love our community, because you can see we've got Essendon fans in here, Saints fans, Collingwood fans, and that's what it's about. At the end of the day, we're a rubbish, do you know what I mean? We might hate our teams on a weekend, but it's football. Evidently, you make good cakes.
I do. That is what I do in my not streaming world for a living. So, yes, a creative art.
We did not know that. We did not know that you did cakes.
Yes, I do. Yep, Melbourne. If you need a wedding cake or something, I shouldn't publicise another brand, but there you go.
Hey, do you know what I mean? You know what, LS? I forget I am a foreigner. I just think you guys talk funny, but I am one of you. But what have I got this week? I've got loads on this week. What have I got? So stick around. Make sure you go and give, firstly, go and give Fiona some love and tell her that Pommy sent you. Tomorrow you've got the Collingwood Geelong review and the Hawthorn Richmond review. There's something else. Oh, the review of the round with the Pommy poem will be in there. And then we've got Footy Abroad on Tuesday. We've got Selection Table Wednesday. We're live for the Thursday game, the Carlton game on Friday, and the showdown between Port Adelaide and Adelaide. The showdown, the derby, whatever you call it. We've got that on. Do you know what I mean? But Carlo, I'm sure Carlo will be here watching as I closet cheer for the Saints. But hey, old mate, Gold Coast frauds as well, mate. There's a lot of frauds. We also have we are going to do a segment this week as well on GWS and why I thought they were frauds. We are going to do that video. Aside from that, loads of content coming up. Look after yourselves. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you very much, Fiona.
Exactly. Thank you, Sandra. Exactly.
Yeah, make sure you get her to 500. Look, if I go to bed tonight and she's not on 500, I'll be out. Do you know what I mean? But thank you very much, chat. Thanks for hanging around. Thank you very much to Fiona. We'll get her definitely back in the end of the year as well to do more shows because she's good fun. But thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your night. See you soon.
Thank you. Good night.